Alright guys, DJ, Guild Master Whistlehorn Gamers Guild, bringing you another kind of a video. I'm going ahead and making a case for Magnus the Red. Not a literal case, but a display stand. So something I did, I picked up one of the football size display cases, and I got a hunk of regular old tin you can cut up, spray paint it black. I'm going to end up epoxying this to the bottom of this, and then with magnets, uh, the strong ones, I'll place magnets here and it'll be able to stick to this and stick to here. I was going to originally uh, epoxy that down, but it just looks pretty trashy, so I figured this probably would be the cleanest look. So the only thing that I got gloves in case you need to do this. I got some Gorilla Glue epoxy, a little mixing thing. So one of the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my scrubby joints here. I'm just going to rough up the inside of this. It helps give the epoxy something to stick to. And I'm going to do the same for this. The tin is galvanized, so it shouldn't really matter much. Okay. Then I'm going to take a wet wipe from our local wing place here, Dino's. I'm just going to go ahead and wipe it off with the alcohol. Let that dry for a second. Let that dry for a second. So now, kind of wave that around a little bit. Well, that's going to go ahead and dry. We're going to go ahead and mix up the epoxy. So, bust that off. Go ahead and bust your little thing out. And we're going to... Oh, great. Only one of them's coming out of there. Figures. What in the Sam Hill? There it is. Okay. Let that get every ounce of that in there. Whew, it stinks. I'm going to go ahead and put that back on. Save it for later. Little applicator. Now this is a clear epoxy, it's a Gorilla epoxy. It says it sets up in 5 minutes. Ooh, it smells pretty bad. I'm glad I'm doing this back here in the back. You're not going to need much. So, with your applicator, I'm just going to go ahead and start scooping that out on there. I might end up needing more. And I'm just kind of smearing it around on top of there. What's going to end up happening is, because you're not really seeing this from underneath. I'm going to go ahead and squish that down on there. And then usually I'll take something heavy, put on there. I'm not sure exactly what. So I'm gonna get something on there just for now to help squish it down, and we'll be back. With the magic of editing, bam, I got some heavy stuff on top of there to help kind of weigh it down, push it in. It says 5 minutes for it to sit. I'm gonna let it sit for like maybe an hour or so, come back. We'll see how it looks. And I'll show you the finished product, what we're going to do to Magnus's base here next to prep it for putting down on here. Alright, we'll see you in a few seconds. Alright, so I'm back. I gloved up just for handling Magnus. So what we're going to do is, I was going to take a traditional like refrigerator magnet and put it underneath. But the problem is, everywhere I looked right now sold out. I don't feel like ordering it online. So I have a bunch of these really hardcore metal magnets laying around, and I use the stick to separate them. And I was looking underneath Magnus's base here. I didn't paint this. My buddy Pat Logan painted Magnus for me. I'll put a link in the description below on him painting this on Twitch and his site. He does commission work. He does an amazing job. So when I was looking at Magnus here, he has a little cross pattern hatch. So I figured if I super glue a magnet to each of these corners, that should be sufficient. I'll epoxy them in. And then I've already tested stand. As you can see, Magnus. I've already tested the stand and it sticks, not a problem. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking it'll be the same with Magnus. And it should come off fairly easy because of this medium. We'll see. I'm not going to turn this thing upside down and be all crazy like. But the main thing is it for not to move when I'm carrying it around to events. Because I'm displaying this. He's a centerpiece for my Thousand Sons army. So we're going to go ahead and kind of get into it here. That's still sort of drying, pseudo drying. So we will see what's going on with that. Alright, so I'm going to mix up some epoxy. I do have one applicator. This process, I'm thinking because of how powerful the magnets are, I might have to only do one corner at a time. So that way the epoxy sets, because the magnets are strong enough. I don't want them getting close enough to simply like grab each other, which I'm afraid will happen. Well, this is kind of not working here, but you know what I mean. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you me doing one of them, and then once I'm done doing that, I'll go ahead and do all four, and once they're done, I'll show you the kind of the finished product. Alright, so let's just go ahead and get into it. So I'll mix up a batch of epoxy. This is the stuff we had from earlier today. Stuff's such a mess to work with, unfortunately, but I mean, you want to use epoxy as opposed to super glue, because that's probably too much coming out of there. You want to use epoxy as opposed to super glue, only because super glue I found it will hold for a long time, but then what ends up happening is with the super glue over time, it starts cracking, and then next thing you know, it'll separate, and it's not bueno. Okay. Make sure I got nothing on my glove here, because I do not want to get epoxy on Magnus at all. Ugh. Looks like I have a whole bunch. I might have to do all four at the same time. I'm just kind of filling in that area on the side where oh, great. There's nothing on my hands. Okay, I'm just kind of doing that with the magnets. I'm making sure they're on either side of the crosshatch you can see. Alright, I'm going to end up holding this for a little bit because I don't want to set him down, obviously. Now looking across, you can kind of see that the magnets, the dual magnets, stick a hair higher than the bottom of the base. And I'm cool with that. That's not a problem for me. Alright guys, I am going to hold this for a few minutes while this sets up. And then I might smear some more epoxy around it so the magnets stay together. Which sounds pretty dumb to say, but alright, I'll be back. Alright guys, so the magnets are done drying on Magnus. So he is essentially done. So I'm going to go ahead and show you. So I put paper on these three for right now. They're still a little bit tacky. There's actually stuff on the magnets themselves. So this is all done. I went and wiped it down. So you can see him just kind of stick on there. And if you'll look, now obviously it starts sliding a little bit. It's because the surface is pretty smooth. But so he sticks on there, which was the original goal. And now the case itself, what I had to do was I actually trimmed around inside of this area right here, because this case is meant when it goes on it doesn't come back off. So we'll go ahead, we'll get a little close up. So you can see, oh, I can see myself. I like it because it has the mirrored back, so you can actually see the back end of the model. And that's pretty sturdy enough. I'm not going to worry about getting it damaged. Plus two, whenever I'm transporting him, it'll look pretty nice. I don't know, just something I threw together real quick. Tell me what you guys think. If you like me doing kind of stuff like this, let me know. And I'm going to go ahead and let him dry some more. And then once he's fully dry, I'll take that paper off and he'll be good to go. But that's going to be his new display home. Alright guys, we'll talk to you later. Bye.